Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do my favorite tag of 2020, a tag I have loved watching other booktubers do, which is the ANTI-TBR tag by Nicole and her books. I'll be linking her original video as well as the questions I'm going to answer now down below. And this tag is all about different books you are not planning on reading, and I think Nicole put it quite well when she said that it's important to curate your reading and that this tag is supposed to help everyone do this. What is a popular book everyone loves that you have no interest in reading? And for me that would be Circe by Madeline Miller. The thing is that I had Latin in school and that really put me off anything to do with ancient Rome or ancient Greece. I just have no interest in these cultures, mythologies whatsoever. So whilst I do sometimes feel guilty for not even wanting to read Circe, I think it's good that I'm just going to put it out there right now, and I'll probably never pick it up, and it's time that I stop feeling bad for this. The second question is, what is a classic book or author you don't have interest in reading? And I guess for me that would be an author, and that is Charles Dickens. Way back in the day, I tried picking up Great Expectations and I quit it within 20 or 30 pages just because I thought it was so dull and boring. On top of that, the edition I had these thin pages like you have in a Bible with this minuscule writing which didn't help my boredom whatsoever. And every time I think of Charles Dickens, I think back to those thin papery pages and it puts me off him all over again. The third question is, who's an author whose books you have no interest in reading? I did just now mention Charles Dickens as an author I have no interest in reading, but in general I don't really say that there's an author I would definitely not read anything by. There are authors who only write in a certain genre I'm not interested in, and then of course I have no interest in picking up their books. But in those cases, if the author might write something in a genre I do enjoy, I might pick them up. So it's difficult to say whether there is an author I just wouldn't read anything by. The fourth question is, who is an author you have read a couple of books from and have decided their books are not for you? My answer to this question would be Karen Slaughter. I have read 3 books by her so far, which are Pretty Girls, The Good Daughter and Blindsided. And the crass thing is, I rated all of these books with 3 to 5 stars. So they are good books and they are books I enjoyed. But the thing with Karen Slaughter is that she is so brutal to her victims, who in these 3 books at least have been women. And the thing the murderers do to these poor women before they are murdered and after they are murdered were descriptions that made me feel physically ill and dizzy because they were so horrendous and disgusting. And every time I finish a book of hers, I think I can never go through this again. But on the other hand, the books are so gripping that I would pick up the next one. But now that I think about it, there are so many thriller authors out there, and why should I put myself through this torture if there are other authors who might be just as good as her without torturing the women as badly as she does? So I've just reached this point where I'd say that I'm not going to pick anything up by her again, even though she is a good author. The fifth question is, what is a genre you have no interest in? And that's an easy one for me, horror. I have never read a horror book, but I have tried watching horror films and I just can't stomach them. Even when I go on Wikipedia and just read the summary of horror films, I get scared. And I mean, these are not articles where anyone is trying to kind of present an atmosphere or scare you. It's just objectively what happens in the film, and I'm so petrified. So imagining reading something where someone really is trying to scare you is the worst thing I can imagine, which is why I just stay away from horror in general. Question number 6 is, what is a book you have bought but will never read? Well, I don't think this has ever happened to me. I'm quite a conscientious consumer. On the one hand, just because I don't want to waste money on things I don't appreciate. And in the last couple of years, I've also come to realize that buying books that I don't intend on reading is a waste of resources. So when I do pick up a book, I do extensive research beforehand and usually read them within the next 1 to 2 years. So I don't have a good answer. The one thing that does happen is that I borrow a book from the library and return it unread, but that's more a time management issue and hasn't happened in the last year, seeing as the libraries have been closed. Question number 7 is, what is a series you have no interest in reading or a series you started and have DNF'd? And the first series that came to mind was The Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater. I read the first book, The Raven Boys, and this book is the most boring book I read in 2020. I really had to push myself to get through it. The only reason I did push myself is because so many people say it's their all-time favorite series, and I was hoping to fall in love with it, but the plot didn't have me gripped. The characters were so bland and unnecessary. I just was not interested in their development whatsoever. I did pick up the second book, The Dream Thieves, but I DNF'd it within a couple of pages. I think I got 20 or 30 pages in before I just accepted that this is not a series I'm going to enjoy and that I should just let it be. The final question is, what is a new release you have no interest in reading? And I'm not that up to date with recent releases. I actually went through the Goodreads winner and couldn't identify a book I would categorically not read. But I've seen a certain book that hasn't been talked about on BookTube in that great detail, but is at the forefront of every bookstore. And I was actually in a very, very small W.H. Smith, and a third of the shelves were covered with this book, and it is Rage by Bob Woodward. And I am not an American, I don't live in America, and I'm just sick and tired of hearing about Donald Trump and all the crap he is up to and what his thoughts are, which I usually don't agree with. So once the US elections were through, I have been keeping away from everything to do with US politics and just living in my calm. Well, calm is maybe an overstatement, but just, keeping away from people that really, really piss me off. So there's no reason why I should pick up a book that tries to, paint his state of mind or whatever. I'm just through that man, and I am happy if we never mention him again. So that was my anti-TBR tag. I had a great time filming this. I've been looking forward to filming this for quite a while. If you have also done a video with the anti-TBR tag, please tell me down in the comments below so that I can check your video out. Thank you so much for watching my video. I would really appreciate it if you liked it and subscribed to my channel, and I'll hopefully see you soon. Bye.